called Cherry Tree Equine. We are based down in the Coomber area. Some of you might have seen the high country horse companies that are here today. We're part of them. So what our business is about is I do a lot of lessons and clinics, work with a lot of people who have confidence issues, people who are returning to riding after a break, people who want to ride with their kids and want to do some more work and aren't really happy with how their riding is going. As you can probably see, my confidence is being pretty well tested today because this big chestnut horse isn't really that keen to be out here. He's not very happy about the rain and he's not very happy about the flies. So you will actually get to see me do the stuff that I would show you if you were working on a horse or working on your confidence issues. And of course the big thing is a day like today, and it's a bit like all of you guys when you go and ride, I'm a little bit tense. I'm going to come out here and stand in front of all of you lot and try and not make a complete idiot of myself. And hopefully I'm going to actually not get bucked off. So you can imagine coming down that alleyway down there, I was sort of going, right, so I'm getting a little bit tense, this horse is getting a little bit tense, where is this going to end up? At that point is when I need to take control. I need to take control of my thoughts and what I am doing. And this is the same for all of you guys. If you are riding a horse that's a little bit angsty like this fellow, if you are just a little bit scared of riding, how you're going to help yourself more than anything else is by controlling your thoughts. Now, I can hear you sitting in the stand saying, oh yeah, good on you, Michelle, that's a great idea. You know, I'm sitting on my 700 kilo warm blood and he's starting to leap through the air and my legs have frozen in terror and I'm gripping into his neck with my fingernails because I'm so scared, and you're telling me to clear my thoughts, okay? I know that's what you're thinking because that's what I would have thought if someone had said the same thing to me. What I'm going to teach you is I'm going to teach you how to keep your mind busy so that you control your thoughts. Now, I ride all my own young horses. This is a horse I bred. But I had a baby 11 months ago. So 11 months ago, 10 months ago, I was faced with a problem that so many mothers have to face when they've had a child and suddenly they have a horse to ride. And I've had friends over the years tell me about how, you know, they got really scared because they had this other person to look after them. They had another person to look after. And they were really worried about what would happen if something happened to them. And I'm sure some of you mothers out there are agreeing with me right now. Well, do you know what I had to tell myself? I had to tell myself, you know what? I could walk out here on Flemington Road this afternoon and get hit by a bus. You know, I went and saw a play last week and there was a song, really awesome song. This play is called Hats, if any of you ever go and see it. And in it there's a song, and there's a really great line in the song. There's no good wanting to learn to swim if you're scared of getting wet. So here's the thing. Yes, I've got an 11-month-old boy who I love dearly. We have a property that we're in debt to our eyeballs with, as most people are. I've got jobs, I've got clients, I've got horses to ride. So guess what? I have to put all of that out of my mind. When I get on this horse, this is about this horse and me. This is about me enjoying life. And for those of you, I'm lucky, I've only got one child, but for those of you who've got several children, you will be able to tell me how hard it is to get time for yourself. And for those of you who are going back riding or have gone back riding, this is your time. Even if you're enjoying it with your kids, this is your time. So, put everything else out of your mind. Now, can you guys see, I've been keeping this horse pretty busy, and I've been talking to you. I've stopped worrying about the fact that I don't want to get bucked off in front of all of you. I can see it on the front page of the Canberra Times tomorrow. Girl gets bucked off with Unbridled and a lovely photo of me. You know, I can't think about that stuff. I'm here, you guys have all come to listen to me. So I need to focus on this horse and what I'm doing. And if you notice, while I've been focusing on all of you, he's starting to relax. Have you seen his head's come down? He's softer in the bridle, he's softer in the eye. Sure, he's going to have little moments where he's going to tense up, but that's okay. Because I've gotten busy thinking about all of you. And that's what I mean by controlling your thoughts. Did you all get taught when you were kids, if you think about something, it'll happen? Yeah? And what about the other pony club line? You'll end up where you look? Yeah? Okay, good. So remember that. Okay? If you look down there on the ground, and you ride like this, I'm going to look down on the ground and I'm going to get all hunched over. You know what? If this horse does something, I am sitting duck. Look up. Be proud of yourself. How many people out there would love to be doing what you're doing now? You know, I've got a girlfriend and she tells me all the time that she rides, she's a very good horse rider, and she tells me all the time that I'm living the dream. You know what? Every time you guys get on a horse, you're living the dream. So enjoy it. Okay? Sure, you're going to have bad days. You know? So, I've been controlling my thoughts the whole time. Now, the other thing is, I like to keep my horse kind of busy. Now, this horse is a 5-year-old. He hasn't been anywhere much. Like I said, I've been busy having a baby. So he's a little bit green. And he's also a little bit special. He thinks he's pretty flash. So, I have to keep working on him. Now, if I had more than half an hour to talk to you today, what I would have started out with was groundwork, okay? I am a firm believer that what you do on the ground with your horse will determine your success under saddle, okay? This horse is an amazing horse on the ground. He does beautiful groundwork, and you'll all have a giggle when I tell you one of the reasons why I'm not groundworking him is you can see how short I am and you can see how big he is, and I couldn't get on out here in this yard without a mounting block. So I decided we might pass on the groundwork today. So you can see, I'm pretty realistic about things. Guess what? I've got a pretty good sense of humour about things. I can see the humorous side of the fact that my horse thinks he might not like that umbrella over there. You know, I can see the humorous thing about the fact that he's so tall I have trouble getting on him. Okay? Humour is your other great ally. Keep your mind busy and keep humour. Keep humour in your riding. Keep humour in everything you do with your horses. It's a bit like your family. You know, we all have to laugh at our family. I can tell you some good stories about mine. But I won't because my mother's here somewhere. But you know, you've got to maintain your humour. If you can laugh, you can relax. You've all heard about that laughter is the best medicine? That's it. Can you imagine if you're sitting up here, now let's say that band decides it's going to play something really unreal in a moment, and this horse ends up down there, I can guarantee you I'm going to turn around and give you all a smile when it's over. Whether I'm on his back or on the ground, I'm still going to see the funny side of it. You know, he wants to go backwards. You know, he wants to show you how well he backs. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been and seen Guy McLean do his liberty work with his horses, and he has a horse called Kenny. Kenny's a fantastic little horse, but any of you who've ever seen Kenny at work knows that Kenny has a bit of a mind of his own. Most of you might not have even noticed the fact that Kenny quite often doesn't do what he's asked because Guy covers it up with humour. Okay? So humour is a great tool. Now, I don't know whether you've noticed, but I'm still walking this horse around in small circles. Who here has a horse that will not stand still? Who here has a horse that fidgets and farts? Doesn't want to know about what's going on? It's great fun, isn't it? Guess what? If your horse doesn't want to stand still, make him a little bit busy. Can you guys see how I've stopped and relaxed and I'm giving this horse the opportunity? Now what I'm actually doing is I'm daring him to walk off. I am daring him to move. Now this starts to tell me, there we go, so guess what? We're going to go back to walking these cute little circles. Now, while he's walking these cute little circles, I am thinking about what I'm doing, okay? I have, and this is how I ride, I have a little instructor in my head. Maybe I have multiple personalities. But I have this little instructor in my head. and constantly I instruct myself. Now, if I get nervous, the best thing I can do is start to instruct myself. Who here, when their horse gets a little bit upset, loves to have somebody on the sidelines to help them? Stacey, put your hand up. It makes a big difference, doesn't it? If you've got someone, if your horse is getting really panicky and someone is there telling you, do this, do this, do this, what do you start to do?
Do what you're told, not concentrate on the horse.
Exactly. You do what the instructor or your friend tells you and you forget about the horse. It's exactly the same thing when I walk these circles. If I'm walking these circles, my little instructor in my head is telling me, look where you're going. And anyone who's ever been to one of my clinics will know I have a bit of a thing about perfect circles. It's about body control. I want this horse to walk over this same track again and again and again. Now, if I walk a horse over the same track again and again and again, and for any of you who think it's really easy, I'd love you to go home and try it. Especially if you've got a sand arena and you can see the track. You have to work so hard on where your horse is going, where his feet are going, and what his body is doing. You do not have time to think about anything else. Now, I don't care what their heads are doing. This horse has just been trained to travel like this. But if this was a young horse, or if one of you guys had a horse that hadn't had much education, I wouldn't care. Like even there, just put his head up, that doesn't worry me. I want to know where his feet are going. Now, I take all my energy to think about where this horse is walking. Now, if you want to make it a bit easier for yourself, what you can do is just put a single cone out. And I'll use this one over here. Put a single cone out. And practice your perfect circles. This horse thinks he's going to run it. Right. Okay, so our first circle's going to be a little bit chunky. You can hear his mate on the other side of the race course. So now he's going to go over here. So I'm thinking about getting him and moving his body parts. I don't have time to think about the fact that he's a bit upset about life and doesn't want to play this game. Okay? I'm so busy concentrating on what I'm asking him to do, that's all I can think about. And of course, here's the other thing. If the perfect circle is going well, this horse will be flexed and bent in the direction of travel. If your horse is flexed and bent in the direction of travel, what does that make it easy to do? What's our most important thing to know if we're worried about our horse and our safety? Our one run stop. Okay? If I've got that horse in a circle and he's already bent the way of travel and he gets a little bit where I really think I do need to do something with him, I can just bend him around. Okay? So, let's say he wants to head off down there to his mate. I'm just going to pull him around and bend him around. Okay? And I'm going to wait for him to stop and soften. Now, there's a lot of schools out there you can go on and do your disengaging your hindquarters and all that stuff. But today we're talking about confidence. I'm talking about giving you the exercises that will help you be more confident in your riding. Okay? So, let's say this horse got a little bit upset here. I reach down, I ask for my one run stop. Okay? It is the first thing that I think everybody should be able to do. I don't care what discipline you do. I did dressage until I was 23. I wasn't very good at it, but I did it. And I can tell you, I wish with some of those horses I had, we used to have thoroughbreds, race horses. So of course a lot of my horses were like off the track or didn't make the track. And this will give my age away a bit. We didn't know about one run stops. Gee, I wish someone had taught me. You know, there's nothing better than when a horse gets scared or you get scared, being able to bring that nose around and that horse can't go anywhere. This horse would probably have the worst one run stop of any horse I've ever started. Okay? He doesn't particularly like them. So guess what? He's done a lot of them. For two reasons. Firstly, because he can get a little bit excited, and he does get a little bit upset. And secondly, because I believe you cannot improve anything by avoiding it. Okay? If you have a problem with your riding or your horse has a problem, you need to address it. Now, I don't care whether that means you get someone to help you, or you get someone to help your horse? Are you hiding?
Busted.
Yes, busted. You know, it doesn't matter. But you cannot fix something by pretending that it doesn't exist. And you've seen that happen. You know? Even if it's scary and ugly and you don't really want to do it, you know? Like this horse. You know, I had to let his head go just then and dared him to want to walk off. You know? But he doesn't want to be standing still and relaxed and calm, look all pretty. He just wants to think about his mate back there. So I put him back on the perfect circle. Notice how he starts to relax straight away. Okay? I had a big gelding once, very similar to this horse. Amazing horse. Loved him to death. He's in retirement in my paddock and he will be there for the rest of his life. He got that way because he's a very nervous horse. And I'm naturally, like I can tell you guys, I'm not a naturally bold rider, okay? If they bark, I fall off. If they rear, I jump off. If they bolt, I don't want to know about them. So, you know, and this horse was this size and as, like, had come through a few hands, so had a few issues. And that horse, I did so many, this was his safety net. I did so many small circles on this horse so that I felt confident. Because when I felt confident on this small circle, when I had control of him, he felt me get confident, okay? And this is the thing. A horse, part of this horse's problem is flies. If a fly lands on his neck here, he can feel that. He can, like, shiver his skin. So don't tell me your horse can't feel when you get nervous. And what most of us do, and I'm not going to put my heels up too far because you have got spurs on and he's not in a great mood. But if I get nervous, where does my heel go? Straight up, doesn't it? Now the thing is, the heel going up is a problem because it puts you out of your seat. The bigger problem is the fact that you've got all that nervous energy going straight through your calf muscle. You cannot tell me, I don't care what saddle you're riding, you cannot tell me your horse can't feel that. Okay? So, this is the thing. Now you've got my kids. You know, so you need to concentrate on what your body's doing. Okay? So, you need to, now look, see, I looked up at the jumping kid, he looked up at the jumping kid. Instead of going back and focusing on what I'm doing, which is this, now if he wants to get really nasty about it, I'm going to put a one-rein stop into it. Now he doesn't like that. Okay? So, I'm just going to wait on him. I've got all day. Look, we've got about another 10 minutes of this presentation. I can do the whole thing in one-rein stop. That's fine by me. Okay? When he is soft, calm and relaxed, and can you guys see, I should have let him go, but I'm holding on him so you can see. See how his expression's changed? He's calmer, he's more relaxed. He always shows the whites of his eyes, so that's just normal. But see how his head position's changed? He's dropped a little bit, he's softened in the bridle. Now I will let him walk on. The biggest mistake I see people do with one-rein stops is they do this. They go now. They reach down, they pull the nose around, the horse is still walking and they let them go and they walk on. Look at this horse, he's going, what the hell was that about? Okay? Do not walk out of a one-rein stop until your horse's feet are still and he is soft in the bridle. And like I said, if you have to sit there for a little while, that's okay. Now this goes back to what we were talking about before. If you've done your groundwork, you can put a lot of this stuff into your horses off the ground and you don't have to worry about it so much under saddle. Now anyone who's ever been to one of my clinics will know these cones are some of my favourite things in the whole world. Guys, they cost about $2 from a sports store. If you don't have cones, tyres will do. It doesn't matter. I've been known to use trees when I need to. Now, what I would do, and mounting arena's not great for this, but I will walk my horses around in a circle, okay? Now, as you can see, he's still focused on everything else and he's got me. So, of course, I'm going to get a little bit nervous about that. So, guess what? I'm going to start turning him. Now, the rule of the game is these are gates. The horse can only turn through a gate. Now, so you think about it. We've been working on our one-rein stops, getting our confidence. So what's a 90-degree turn? It's just a one-way stop at the walk. Okay? You are bending your horse in the direction of travel and you're getting it moving around. Now you can do this exercise at a walk, a trot or a canter, whatever takes your fancy. Okay? But lots of bends. Keep bending it. I was down the back before watching someone warm a horse up. And I'm, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing this. The horse was a little bit angsty about life. The person was just trotting circles. Okay? The horse isn't using its brain at that point. Okay? All it's doing is trotting around in circles. I would rather keep his feet busy and make him work. Those of you who've been at a clinic of mine will know that I say all the time. What's easier for a horse? Walking out here in a straight line or turning a circle or turning a turn? It's harder to turn a turn. Okay? It's about keeping his feet busy. Now, again, whilst I'm saying to all of you it's about keeping his feet busy, of course what it's actually about is keeping your mind busy. If you're focused on nothing but these cones and bending your horse through them and turning, again, do you have time to think about the fact that you're a little bit nervous? Do you have time to think about the fact that you haven't ridden for a week? Do you have time to think about the fact that the kids at home are probably wondering when their tea's coming and hubby's probably wanting you to clean the house? Nah. You're doing this properly. The only thing you have time to be thinking about is exactly where you're going through these cones. Okay, now, what I would be working on is perfect control. So, of course, before, when we were doing this, we were doing perfect circles. Okay? Now what I'm doing is I'm working in my pattern and I'm working on perfect control. So what I want to do is I want to aim for the dead set centre of my cones. And then I want to make a nice, neat turn. Okay? I don't care where his head is. This is about you guys working on your confidence, okay? We're just controlling his feet. Wherever his feet go, his body's going to go. So I'm going to turn through here, turn through the centre. Okay, now he's overshot that a little bit. Now here's the other benefit of all this. While you're working on controlling your mind and therefore controlling your nerves, what you're also working on is your horse's flexion and you're working on your feel. Now as you guys get going, when you've overcome your confidence issues, and all of you, anyone who has one, you can do it, then you can start to work more on your timing and feel. Okay? It is timing and feel to make fantastic horse riders. So, who has a horse who's really, really obsessed about the arena gate? Who has a horse when they go for a trail ride, all it wants to do is head back to the arena gate? You're really battling, aren't you, mate? Okay, there's nothing worse than like you guys can see, my horse is fixated on that horse float which is at the other end of the track over there, okay? If I let him head out like this is where it's going to go. Guess what? I'm going to remind him I'm running this show. So if you get a horse that gets a little bit upset or just really hell-bent on going one way, what you can do is do exactly what I'm doing now. You start to feel which way they want to go. Like he's wanting to go left now, so guess what? I'm going to go right. Okay, and then I'm just going to let him go around here. Now, of course, guess what? He's going back to the left because all he's thinking about is that gate over there. So I'm going to turn him back around to the right. Okay, now no. You got to look how I'm doing this. I've got a loose run. I've got a loose run. I'm not helping him. Okay, it's a female thing. What we want to do is help our horses. Now, if he wants to be a little bit silly, he can have a one-race stop. So this is where you start to put some of your exercises together, okay, to help you. So, I'll turn him loose. This is the key. As women, especially as women, and there's men too, what we want to do is help our horses all the time, okay? It's that natural maternal instinct. We get to where we think we can help them. Now, the problem is, it's a bit like kids. Sure, we can help them all the time, but what happens when they get to 18 and they don't know how to change their own underpants? Okay? We can't help them forever. Our horses are the same. Now, I'm a shocker for it. I don't want to help the horses all the time. So what I have to do is relax, turn him loose. When he heads over towards that gate, I'm going to pick him up, turn him, and I'm going to turn him loose again. Okay? Now look where his head's going. What do we know about a horse's body structure? When his pole goes below his wither, who can tell me what happens? Go on, yell it out. He relaxes. That's right. I was talking about it before in my Buying Your First Horse DVD. So whenever this horse can get that pole down below his withers, he's going to start to relax. Now you guys watching, when I turn him loose, his head goes up and down like a yo-yo. Okay? Because 1 minute he's relaxed and the next minute he suddenly remembered his mate's over at the float. So, you as horse riders, if you are a little bit nervous, can be happy in the knowledge that if you can get your horse down here like this, he's going to be more relaxed. Okay? Now what that is also going to tell you is that you're more relaxed. Because if you're sitting up here, nervous as anything, chattering on your teeth and gripping like blazes, there's no way that horse's head's going to come down. Okay? So, if you can get him to where he's happy to listen to you, his head will start to come down. Okay? Now, you guys can see I'm just guiding him. Okay? All I'm doing is everywhere he wants to go, I'm going in an opposite direction. Now here's the funny thing, you know what? Did anyone watch the reining just before? Okay, this is a reining exercise. Okay, this is how those reiners teach those horses to describe those beautiful, big, perfect circles. Okay, because they teach them to listen to the rider, and that's what I'm doing. I'm reminding this horse that as I pay the feed bills, and as I pay for his horse rugs, and all that sort of stuff, when I get on and ride him, he should be a little bit more respectful, okay? So look at this. He's still headed for the gate. He's still obsessed with the gate. But before you guys saw he was headed to the gate with his head up in the air and wanting to trot. Now he's starting to do it at the walk. So I just keep turning him away, okay? Like we said, you know, they just told me I've got 5 more minutes. Well, I can put, you know, I'll put another 5 minutes into turning him away from the gate. There's no problems with that at all, okay? But have a look at this horse. Does he look like a different horse when we got here? Okay, and I tell you what, I'm a lot more relaxed too. Because none of you have booed at me, no one's thrown anything at me, and I haven't got bumped off. Yay, it's a win for everybody. Okay? So like I said, this is just an example of how I help some of my clients with their confidence. And don't forget that you need to think about who you're riding with. You know, there are people out there, and I have some very, very good friends that I love dearly, that I would never, ever, ever ride when I was uncomfortable or nervous. I would never ride with them. Because all they do is make it worse. Now, if you have a buddy who's really good and really calm and will help you get through any issues and will talk to you. Now, like I said, we start all our young horses. I'm really, really lucky. I have an amazing mum and she still comes riding with me. Okay? Now, one of the main reasons why my mum comes riding with me is when I'm riding a horse like this one that is a little bit nervous and is a little bit wound up, you know what she does? She just talks to me. She just talks to me about anything. Okay? She's also pretty quick to tell me when they jam their tails down. I don't know, but you know, she just is there. She's a reassurance. You guys can all be the same. Find a riding buddy. If you're a bit uncertain, they don't have to be the world's greatest horseman. Just somebody who's honest and who's going to look out for you. The last person you want to go riding with, and I'm sorry teenagers, the last person you want to go riding with is the teenager who wants nothing to do, nothing but gallop up and down the track all day. Okay? If you're a nervous rider and you're unsure of your abilities, the last thing you need is somebody who's going to scare you and your horse. Okay? Now, you can find, like there's plenty of good instructors out there too. You can do that as well. But it's too, no one can have lessons every day. So you know what? Find somebody who you can work with and rely on. And then when the opportunity comes up, go and get help on whoever is out there. You know, there's plenty of people out there who will help you. Like I said, we built a business around doing this sort of stuff. But you know what? I'm not the only one. Okay, you might not like how I do it, so go and find someone else who does. You know, you will find someone who fits you and your horse. Now you guys can see I've just started putting this horse in small circles around this place. See how I've kept him busy the whole time? Now you guys weren't here and I was riding out here and this horse was being how he is today and I was a bit worried about him. This is exactly what I would have done. Okay? The only thing was you guys got to stand here and see. I better shut up or they'll kick me out. But like I said, we are part of High Country Horse Companies. We have a stand just through over there in White Tent. I can go back there after this. So if you want to come and talk to me about anything, please do. If you just got questions, like, I'm happy to help anybody as best I can. So please come, ask. If I can help you, I will. If I don't know, I'll find someone who does. So thanks everybody for coming and enjoy the rest of this lovely wet day.
Thank you, Michelle. Coming up next, we have the Brindleville Study.